Hello, my name is Max Sharks with ProRunReviews.org, Facebook.com/ProRunReviews, and Twitter.com/ProRunReviews. I'd like to welcome you to the interview with Nate Burleson. Nate was a wide receiver while attending the University of Nevada. He then entered the NFL draft in 2003 and was drafted in the third round, 71st overall by the Minnesota Vikings. He played for the Vikings throughout the first 3 years of his career. He then signed with the Seattle Seahawks for 4 years. Most recently, he signed with the Detroit Lions and played with them throughout the entire 2010 season. Anyways, here's the interview with Nate Burleson, and I hope you enjoy the collages also. Why do you use Twitter?
Well, originally I used it for a way to express myself outside of the normal media outlets. The local radio stations, the popular radio sites and all that. Twitter seems to be a way to speak my mind without having to be too politically correct. So that was my initial reason for using it. And then as obviously I understood the type of machine it is, it became more of a marketing tool and a way to not only reach out to my fans on a personal level, but utilize it as a vehicle to push really whatever product I want to.
Who's your childhood star?
My childhood star was my father. He played in the CFL for 8 years. He dabbled in the NFL and USFL, but finished off his career in the CFL with the Calgary Stampeders. And as I got older, I realized how hard it was to make it to any type of professional sports level. And then on top of that, he was a working father. And then on top of that, he was a constant presence in the home. And then on top of that, he supported every dream I had. So he wasn't just a guy that had the name father, titled over his head. He was a man who actually stood for every definition of the word. So that was probably the biggest reason why he was my hero, just for the simple fact that he was there every day and present every day. And he was bigger than Superman, Spider-Man, Michael Jordan, Michael Johnson, Mike Tyson. Nobody could be bigger than my father in my eyes. I still can.
Your family, like you just mentioned, your dad played in the CFL and the USFL. Your brother's on the Bobcats, and then you have another brother who played college football, Alvin Jr. So who's the most athletic in your family and why?
Probably my youngest brother that you didn't mention. His name is Wendell. He finished his career off at the University of Nevada. He just spent the last basketball season overseas in, I believe it was Germany, Heidelberg, Germany. And the reason he's the most athletic is probably because he cultivated his talent and focused on, 3 different sports, and he could probably dominate those 3 at a high school level. He could have probably been the fastest. He probably does have the most hops. He's probably the strongest. He is very athletic. And like I said, he's still playing professional ball. He's 25 years old, 26, and he's definitely, in my opinion, the most athletically gifted Burleson.
What was it like to grow up in like a competitive sports house?
It was extremely competitive. The competition pretty much drove every day. Not only was it in sports, but it was in academics. Whoever brought home the best grades usually got the biggest pat on the back. Whoever brought home the biggest trophy had a bigger smile on their face. We competed every day, all the time, no matter what it was. And even now, we're grown men. We range from 26 to like 34 in age, and we still compete. Just this weekend on Super Bowl Sunday, we had a weightlifting competition. We saw who could put up 225 the most. And we do that anytime we get together, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be a special event. If we're all in the room at the same time, I guarantee we'll compete at something.
Does your dad join in too, or no?
Oh, yes, he does. Like I said, this past weekend we had a bench press competition. See who could put up 225 the most. My dad took the title. He put it up 13 times with no warm-up. So he's the grand champion, and he's strong as well. So we've been trying to play catch-up to pass him for quite some time now, and nobody's done it yet.
What was your high school football experience like?
It was fun, man. I really enjoyed myself. Playing at a school like O'Day, Catholic school, very, very strict in their regiment. A whole lot of discipline. Was basically preached on and off the field. I only had, I think it was 16 catches my senior year, so I wasn't a huge threat offensively, but I played at a high level on offense and defense, and I think that's what allowed me to kind of get the attention of some college recruiters. It was exciting. The only thing I regret about high school is never winning a championship. I played 3 sports for 4 years, basically, and never won a championship. So if I could go back, if I had the DeLorean or hot tub time machine, I would go back and do whatever I could to win that championship.
What was your experience like at University of Nevada, like the transition from high school to college?
It was a great learning experience because I transferred into O'Day High School, which is a private school from public. And by the time I actually got to college, certain credits didn't match up because I wasn't notified in high school. So once I got to college, I had to sit out my first year, which gave me the ability to sit back and learn for the first time in my life and actually look at it from a different perspective. A lot of things in life are usually handed to you and you just work through it at the moment. But when you're separated from the thing that you care about the most, it creates a passion and hunger inside of you that really can't be duplicated by anything. So, sitting out my first year, I think it allowed me to approach the game from a different mindset. So when I got back on the field the next 3 years, my freshman, sophomore, junior year, it was basically just go out, give it all you got.
Do you have a favorite memory from your time at Nevada?
Oh man, there's quite a few. I remember I caught one ball over a San Jose State guy. It was a goal route, about 50-yard catch. I jumped up in the end zone. He jumped, and I jumped. And once I got in the air, I realized that I just had more hops than him. And I continued to climb while he was descending, and I snatched it out of his hands. To make that catch particularly great in my mind was the fact that that individual plus a few others on the defense was just talking to me all game. I mean, they were just so loud and obnoxious about how they want to stop me and ruin my season. And I just went off on them for big time numbers, and that catch kind of basically stamped the fact that I was unstoppable, and I felt unstoppable that game. I remember BYU we played, and I caught a swing route. It took for about 94 yards, and that was the first time I ever saw myself on ESPN. First time I ever heard any ESPN commentator say my name, and that was the biggest upset I ever had in my career at Nevada. So out of those two, I'll probably have to go with the BYU just for the simple fact that being in such a small market as you're in a small school as Nevada, I would never think that I would be sitting back watching myself, on the top plays of the day, and there I was. So, it might have to be that moment against Nevada.
What was your draft day experience like?
It was fun, man. I mean, people told me I was going to go anywhere between second round and fourth round. So it was pretty consistent with what I heard because I actually ended up going in the third. And I just relaxed at the house, man. My mom woke up bright and early, cooked some breakfast / lunch, and everybody came back and hung out at the crib and just waited to see if my name was going to be called. Luckily, I got called on that first day, early in the third round. I just remember falling asleep. To be honest with you, I don't share the story too much, but there were some guys that played my position that went before me, and I thought to myself, man, in my heart of hearts, I think I'm better than them. So at that point, I just fell asleep. Somewhere in the second round, I just nodded away, and I was like, forget it, man. I'll be here when they call my name, but I'm past excitement, just for the simple fact that all these other guys have gone before me. And I remember the Minnesota Vikings calling me. Mike Tyson, he said, "Are you ready to be a Minnesota Viking?" And I was like, yeah. And it was real non-enthusiastic just because I had just kind of woken myself up from a little quiet nap sitting there watching the draft. And Mike Tyson said, "Oh, you don't sound too excited." And I was like, "Oh, I just woke up. I'm sorry." But I am excited. I can't wait to get this thing going. And that was it. So that was my draft experience. And nothing elaborate, nothing crazy, big time party at the club, just me and my people in there.
So what's your favorite memory from the Lions this past season?
Oh, man, I think my favorite memory had to be the last game against the Minnesota Vikings. The first game I missed with the ankle injury, so I didn't get to play against my former team. And then that last game, Calvin Johnson had an ankle injury. And everybody pretty much wrote us off and said, "Oh, well, Minnesota Vikings, they don't have Calvin. They're not going to win. They don't have a playmaker." And always being an underdog, especially when people put it out there in the media, it frustrates me highly. So, just given the fact that I wasn't looked at as a guy that kind of carried a load, it kind of fueled me a little bit, and I actually ended up having a pretty good game. Had over 100 total yards, a touchdown, and I did the Jared Allen celebration in the end zone. I got his permission before I did it, which was pretty funny. I talked to him and said, "Hey, when I score, I'm going to do your dance." And he said, "Okay." So I think, and we got the win. So that was probably, out of this whole season, that last game solidified it in so many different reasons. It was the fourth game, 4-game win streak. I finally started to see the identity of our team come into play. So it was a very, very good game to be involved in.
So for someone who wants to play in the NFL, what's the best advice you can give them?
Never give up on your dream. I know it sounds simple and it sounds cliche, but I could probably name 20 guys, 20 to 25 guys who are clearly better than me at every single level of sports. There's times where I was the last guy off the bench. There was times where I didn't play. There's been plenty of times where I wasn't the most athletic, wasn't the fastest, couldn't jump the highest. But I just kind of outlasted those who didn't have the ultimate drive to finish the race. And that's the only thing I can tell anybody who has a dream. You're not always going to get the praise you deserve, but if you keep working and keep pushing, eventually that door is going to open and that opportunity is going to come. And when it comes, you'll be ready. So just keep going, keep fighting. Don't give up on your dream, no matter what anybody says. I've been on plenty of teams where people have told me you might want to just give up this sport and try another one. You're not built for it, or you're not fast enough, you're not big enough, you're not tall enough. So regardless of the circumstances, keep going, keep getting after it, because you're right around the corner from your goal. You won't know it until you give up, so don't give up.
Thank you so much for your time, Nate.
No problem, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the interview with Nate Burleson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you leave your comments below as well. Please check out my website, prointerviews.org, for other interviews. Like the Facebook page at facebook.com/prointerviews. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/prointerviews. Please subscribe to me on YouTube at youtube.com/prointerviews. Thanks again for listening. Stay tuned for more, and feel free to contact me.